The Pulse School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Saskatchewan Pulse Growers and Nodulator XL.
We're joined by Murad Al-Khatib of AGT Food here at the Farm Progress Show in Regina. Murad, you talked today about some of the trends in the food industry, including how pulses fit into that. Maybe to take us through where pulses fit in terms of the future of the global food market and demand.
Well, I think that we have a strong trend with the rotational nature of pulses, with the cereal oilseed pulse rotation. Acreage has been continuing to go up. We've got a very strong base of production, and Canada has now become the driver of the global pulse sector. 65% of the world exports of lentils come from Saskatchewan, and we're the largest pea exporter in the world too now. So we're no longer kind of the tertiary player. We're driving the sector in the world, and I think that will continue. It's all about protein. We've got a global race to protein, and as incomes rise in Asia, and as we see that middle class spending, we predict in Asia it'll go from around 21 trillion to 56 trillion by 2030. That's $1 trillion. People, as they get more disposable income, they buy protein. And so we're well positioned to become the protein basket of the world, replacing us only as the bread basket.
So do you see us growing more lentil and pea acres?
Yeah, I think that the acreage still has room. We're seeing an emergence in Alberta of more acres up in the Peace River country and south. And I think that in Saskatchewan, we could see even the transition into some new crops. I think that faba beans are going to become a very big part of the rotation here. Maybe adding acres and also maybe replacing a few of the pea acres. Very strong nitrogen fixing, very strong global demand. I like it for food ingredients because 33% protein to start. And so from that perspective, I think that eastern Saskatchewan and areas where we've got a little bit more rain, and they're very good in the water. They seem to have water wings a bit. From that perspective, I think that those are the type of crops that will keep the trend going.
You mentioned nitrogen fixation. There's also the sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you look at the fact that we fix nitrogen, we're using zero minimum tillage technologies, and then the water use per unit of protein. If you look at beans, 43 gallons of water per pound of protein. Beef, 1,857 gallons per pound. The carbon footprint of our crops makes them so environmentally sustainable compared to other crops that becomes an advantage when you're marketing to General Mills, and you're marketing to Frito-Lay Pepsi, and you're marketing to Unilever and Nestle and Heinz. These food companies are under pressure from retailers. Tesco, Walmart, Loblaws. The global retailers in the world are consolidating, and consumers are demanding environmentally sustainable products. And I think that the kids who are 13 years old today, like my daughter who's 13, she's going to demand it 10 years from now. I think that those are what we're seeing in the trends, and pulses fit well into that.
Along with that, do you see more of a relationship throughout the value chain where farmers are growing things specifically for a certain end use?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. I call those more closed loop relationships, where we will be able to, we hope, have multi-year grower contracts, specific characteristics we're targeting on protein, on specific varieties that do well in processing. Very much what you've seen in things like malt barley industry. I think that as we move higher up the value chain, it'll create opportunities for producers.
And then in the short term, what are your thoughts on prospects? Of course, it's dry in much of the West right now. What are your thoughts on how the crop's looking this year?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we need rain every June and July, and things are a bit dry out there right now. We're optimistic that we'll get some shots of rain along. I think the subsoil moisture is still there. Usually we're topsoil moisture, no subsoil. This year we had subsoil and topsoil. So topsoil is definitely dry. Subsoil, there's still some stuff there. I think we need some topsoil replenishment and get things finished off. I'm still optimistic that we'll get that shot, and we'll keep rolling along like we do in every other year.
All right.